Hello everybody and welcome back to the United Stands Fan Forum. We just about got through that. Manchester United 3, Nottingham Forest 2. Quickest ever 2 goals that Manchester United have conceded in the Premier League. But we managed to come back and win the game, and we actually saw a little bit of a performance during that as well. Thank God we ended up getting the 3 points in that. I mean, I was on my edge of the seat in the last 15 minutes, I've got to say. But we are back with the Fan Forum. We've all got the retro kits on. If you're watching the build-up, you will see we're now calling it the Lucky Shoe. It's still on the table. It's staying there until we lose. We have Arsenal away next week. Make of that what you will. But anyway, we're back, and the shoe did turn out to be good luck. Ryan, the producer, wanted me to tell you all that. And we've got the retro kits on, we've got the forum back, we've got Ricky, we've got Kev back from his holidays in Spain, we've got Faz.
Great to be back, man.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm catching you up.
Yeah, he's got a nice tan on. But, guys, before we get into the show and we get into all of the bits and pieces, hopefully it's going to be a good one. It is going to be a good one because we've got a great panel. I want to tell you, you can get your authentic, genuine shirts like all we have on here. Support United with them throughout the season at retrofootballkits.co.uk. 15% off site-wide and an extra 10% off if you use the code TUS10. So make sure you go and check it out and go and get yourself a retro kit like we have, or any kit on there for that matter. But Kev, we'll start with you because you're back, we've missed you, and you're back with a win, which is good.
Yeah, very nice indeed. At 2-0, I was thinking, oh my God, I've cursed it. It's the curse of Kev coming back on the forum, but I mean, I was going to say a famous Sir Alex Ferguson quote, like, football, bloody hell. But he did say that after we won the treble, like, we've just beaten Nottingham Forest, which, again, I just think we make life so difficult for ourselves. I'm happy that we've got 3 points, but the concern at the minute is we just look so open to play against, and to go 2-0 down against a team like Forest, no disrespect. My main concern is next season, when we're playing the teams that whooped our arse, and I mean the likes of Liverpool, Manchester City, once they get into a lead like that, we're not coming back. But as Brendan Rodgers once said, you know, we show great character. We come back into it today, and thought Bruno was fantastic. There was some good performances in that team, which were great. And yeah, you've got to show spirit, haven't you, to get back into a game like that.
Exactly, and it is 3 points at the end of the day, and that's what matters. And I know a lot of people are going to get caught up with the first 2 goals, which we're definitely going to talk about, yeah. But I think both of them, one of them is basically the guy doesn't even know he heads it in the back of the net. Still should do better, should get up better. And then the first one, obviously, you could argue, you know, Rashford definitely has to do better on winning the 50-50 and then pace to get back as well and making a tackle. Also, maybe Onana could have done better on that goal. But
on that goal, I've not seen it back, but I'm thinking that's from a corner. And I'm thinking, how does Rashford and Antony get left with, like, one of the quickest players on the pitch in a defensive position, you know, 1v2, and Rashford is last man? Now, if you're sending up people from a corner, fair enough, Varan, you want him up there for his height, he might have a goal in him. Surely you just look and you think, Wan-Bissaka, quickest defender, you know, you put him on in case the team break away like they did. And at the same time, I'm looking and thinking, Rashford, you need to take him out. You need to get a foot in.
Also, you've got to think red card.
I know that, but I think you can look at it, and I think from where Antony's position is, the referee might have looked and thought, if he brings him down, it's a yellow card because Antony might have covered him, even though deep down I think Antony probably the worst player on the pitch to be in that position. He is not making a challenge, but
I mean, it's an interesting one. We're definitely going to get into it. I do feel like there is a lot of negativity coming in already, and I get it because we did go 2-0 down and we were holding on at the end. But Ricky, you did say, we sat with each other for the game, we watched it together, you did say that you were happier with the overall performance.
Much happier. I mean, against Wolves, we didn't play anything like that. You know, forget the Spurs away, that's a different game, but Forest at home and Wolves at home, that's a similar category of game, if you like. Wolves absolutely battered us, and that wasn't the case. All right, they scored 2 goals in the first 3 minutes, was it? But after the first 5 minutes and all the way up to like the last 15 minutes, United were easily the better side and played the best they've played yet this season. This isn't a go at Mason Mount at all. This is about how important Eriksen is to the team. I said before the game on the show, it's a bonus for us that Eriksen will be playing. If he played, we didn't know he was going to play. If Eriksen plays, it's a bonus for us. We play better, we look after the ball better, and we've got better players in defensive position when the opposition break. So when Eriksen plays, we're a better team without any shadow of a doubt. And today it was shiningly obvious.
It is facts, because last season, Manchester United, when Eriksen and that Casemiro, you had that partnership. Up until Eriksen got run, and it kind of did derail Manchester United at that stage. I thought Eriksen was quality, and as Ricky would say, one of his terms, he uses the ball well. And Eriksen does do that. He's class. And I know a lot of people get in the comments, oh, he's finished, he hasn't got the legs to do it and that, but you still have it up here.
He was good today. I think what helped as well, he was playing deeper than what Mount's been playing. Like it's the position on the pitch he's playing.
His normal game.
But I do think that does come from the manager. But we've got a super chat in from Ethan O'Brien, Beth, Faz, Kevin, Ricky. The best convo. Glad to have you all together. It's been too long. And then another super chat in from United all the way. Besides Bruno's penalty, our forwards have 0 goals. In fact, Casemiro is one of our leading attackers with shots on target this season. That's completely disgraceful. Our attackers are so wasteful. We'll get into that for sure, but Faz, opinions, because I actually agree with Ricky. Apart from the first, obviously, 5 minutes and then the last 15, I actually thought we did play well and we had a good performance. Obviously, you've got to take into consideration who the opposition are, but did it show good character that Man United haven't maybe shown in recent times to actually come back and win that game?
Firstly, I would like to debunk this theory of the shoe, because don't forget, for a period of time we had the shoe on and we did take the shoe off. So for a period of time we got 2-0 and then we did come back. So Ryan, I'm sorry, but the shoe has to go.
Does have to stay on.
It's unlucky. I'm telling you, the chat said,
get a poll going.
It has to go. Because once we took the shoe off, we did win.
Things turn nasty.
No, get a poll.
We'll leave it on until the poll says.
Get a poll, because it has. The chat wanted the shoe gone, and we won after the shoe was gone.
The fact you even thought of touching the shoe then.
Anyways, moving on to the game. I hope the poll goes in my favour, or else it's going to be a long day for me. The game, what?
Faz versus admin.
yeah. By the way, the admin was flip-flopping. I caught you today on Twitter. I've got screenshots. Anyways, look, the game in itself, I really enjoyed. Hello, admin. Back in there. I really enjoyed that game. First and foremost, when Nottingham Forest scored 2 goals early on in this game, it's theirs to protect, right? And ours to win. You predicted 2-1. I did. Adam predicted 2-1. You also wanted to go 2-1, but for the sake of the thing, you went 1-0. So a lot of us predicted 2 goals anyways. So we would have had to score 2 goals. Obviously, the game goes in a different dynamic when Forest score first, but I'm expecting Manchester United to be able to score anyways. Eriksen comes in, Mount goes out, the team is more balanced. So attacking-wise, everybody's going to have more efficient, numbers going forward, passing, all of these things. So I was more than calm. I was very, very calm the whole game.
I wasn't.
The first goal went in. It was almost like I literally tweeted every single 5 minutes to show proof how calm I was, saying to people that we will end up winning this game. Because first and foremost, you have to understand how tactically Erik ten Hag set out this team. Last season, this same midfield were winning majority of the games, or if not, did they not go on a crazy unbeaten run or something?
Well, we're 30 games unbeaten at Old Trafford before today.
Casemiro, Bruno and Eriksen. So how can you doubt this midfield? It works. We've seen it work last season. The first goal, absolutely no way you can protect Onana. He has to do better.
Yeah, I agree.
Right? Plain and simple. Rashford, Antony ended up in the...
Rashford has to do better as well.
Rashford, Antony ending up in that phase, whatever. Okay, happens. The second goal from the little set piece, whatever, that's again somewhat lucky because he doesn't even realise that the ball's gone in. It's a very unlucky...
There's no way that's Onana's fault.
That's not Onana's fault. No, I'm saying that's not Onana's fault, but I'm saying the player who got the goal, it was a bit, he didn't even mean it. He didn't even mean it. So it's unfortunate. People are not realising that and they're going, oh my God, sack the manager, it's all a shit show. It's not. The fact that he's able to find the answer to a 2-0 down. By the way, the lads didn't put their heads down. Nope. They didn't start playing hoofball. Bruno was so good today, constantly staying calm, getting the passes through, keeping the team calm. There was leadership today. All of this is what we want. We want Solution FC because this is the Premier League. Some point, some team is going to give you a hard time. Luton gave Chelsea a hard time yesterday. So So people just need to calm down. They told us to stay calm when it was the first game, second game of the season, and now people are, at the players and the managers' neck. They just need to chill.
What you've got to realise as well, first game of the season at the Emirates, Nottingham Forest played really well against Arsenal, who were a great side and were close to win the league last year. I know they've drawn today against Fulham, but that's another story. But they nearly scored to equalise in the last minute. Nottingham Forest have started the season quite well. We did well to come back, like you said, to go 3-2. And do you know what? I have to agree with you on that point. You didn't see. I don't think I can remember Bruno hitting one of them balls that's like, going to nobody, or them long balls that wasn't working. He kept it calm. Watching him in Old Trafford, you can see how vocal he is and telling everyone what to do. I thought it was brilliant. Like
do you know the worst thing today, the worst thing that could have possibly happened for Nottingham Forest, and it sounds stupid, is going 2-0 up so early.
Yes.
You know, at 4-0, in the 4th minute, going 2-0 up. I was quite the same. I'm sat there and I'm thinking,
loads of time.
plus the injury time, which we knew was going to be madness anyway, and Nottingham Forest today contributed towards that. You can't complain. They were wasting time from the 4th minute in, which kind of then went for them. It's strange, isn't it? Because we find ourselves 3-2 up, bit of backs to the walls, but you think, why? We're playing against 10 men. After the sending off, it's like, why can't United be like any other top team where you kind of work them? You're playing with a man advantage. Make it work, make it happen. Spray the ball, use the extra man, overload, do whatever, and target the team. And for some reason, it just did not do that.
Yeah, it was weird that we got worse after it went to 10 men. But
makes no sense.
We have a super chat in from Okie Red saying, please wish my wife, Amanda, happy birthday. We love United Stand. You are all awesome. Happy birthday, Amanda. I'm glad we got there. An entertaining game for you and we got the win in the end. So have a good one. Make sure you have a nice night tonight and celebrate. And MCC7 says, hey guys, Ricky, how many changes do you make for next week? We'll talk about that later in the show. But you know what, Ricky, I'll come back to you today. What do you think was the difference of why we could score 3 goals when you said we've been struggling to really score many goals and we barely ever score 3 a game? We managed to do it. What was the difference?
It's very, very rare that we score 3 goals, although we did do it twice against Forest last year, once in the league and once in the League Cup away, once in the league at home. So we tend to be able to do it against Forest, but not many others. That's a bit tongue-in-cheek because every game's different, whoever you're playing against. One of the big differences, and it's a great point that you've made, or I think it was Kev said, 2-0 down in 3 or 4 minutes. Obviously, if you're offered that, you're going to take it. But when you're playing away to a big side and you're not a massive side, it is an awkward lead to defend. Obviously, if offered it, you're going to take it. But the home team, know that they've got to score 3 goals. Normally when a game kicks off, you don't think that you've got to score 3 goals. So that's part of the reason. I know it might sound a bit daft, but part of the reason we scored 3 goals is because they scored 2 goals. If we'd have taken the lead, we wouldn't have been puffing and trying like that to score again.
Exactly.
You know what I mean? So part of the reason that we scored 3 goals is that they scored 2 goals first.
We did this so many times in this Sir Alex Ferguson era. How many times we find ourselves in this position where the team kicked on and the team will go searching and attacking and looking for goals simply because they have to.
You
don't set up like that from the start, although I'd love to see it. Teams don't do that. They try to work each other out 5-10 minutes, give it a bit of a spell or whatever, but I think that, like I say earlier, it sounds daft, but the worst thing for Nottingham Forest today was going into that lead so early. I mean, there was chance of Ten Hag getting sacked in the morning. They were getting very, very excited, in the 4th minute, and I'm thinking, whoa, there's a lot of football to be played.
1-0 down, I thought that when it went to 2, I was like...
This isn't normal for Nottingham Forest to be going 2-0 up in Old Trafford in 4 minutes. They don't actually know what to do in a situation like this. This is almost like, oh my God, we could actually end up winning here, going away with 3 points. All of us wanted and thought Manchester United are going to score the goals. The only thing is, it almost needed a kick up the backside for Manchester United to be like, you know what, actually, we need to perform for 90 minutes plus, not like 45, 60 minutes and then just ease off the gas. And that's what we saw today. That's why I'm just so happy with the performance.
For every action, there's a reaction. Yep. If you prod a tiger, there'll be a point when it's going to I don't know, get the claws out and come back at you.
I agree with that, but you shouldn't need going 2-0 goal,
Sure.
2-0
No, that's
down
the
at Old
worry.
Trafford for
Yeah.
the wake-up call. Hopefully, this will kick him into gear now, but obviously we've got a tough game next week. Just want to interrupt the fan forum with a little bit of news coming out from Fabrizio Romano. Sofiane Amrabat has not been called up for the Fiorentina game. He won't play or train until his situation gets sorted out. He's been waiting for Manchester United for 2 months. Interesting situation there. I'm hoping that gets sorted because when Casemiro went down and he looked in pain, I know he got up and carried on, I thought, I'm not going to the Emirates with McTominay playing there again. I know you're loving Ricky, but I'm not. So we need that situation to be sorted out, and we'll talk a little bit. I actually thought Casemiro had a good game today, but we've got loads of individuals to talk about. First individual that I want to talk about is Marcus Rashford, back on his favoured position. Personally, for me, Rashford today, he had some really good moments and he had some really bad moments. It was kind of a mixture, but you can't fault the fact he got the assist for the first goal and then he wins a penalty to win the game. You can't fault that back in his favoured position. Ricky, I'll come to you first on this one because both times he got the penalty and he assisted the first goal. He actually took it down to the byline and was trying to get a cross in. He got the cross in the first time. Second time he got fouled. So were you happy with that?
I don't know if it was him or Eriksen that was watching our build-up show. But it appears as though somebody was. Because Adam asked me, what do you want to see Rashford do today? I said, I'm fed up of him cutting in and shooting. We need him to try and get to the dead ball line and feed it across the box with his left foot. I also said, it's not his strongest foot, so often when he does do it, the crosses are not so great. But today it was. He got to the dead ball line, he crossed it, and it's very rare. I'd love to know how many assists Marcus Rashford has got in the time that he's been playing with us by getting to the dead ball line and cutting it back. I bet it's not double figures, but he did it today after I've said that's what I wanted to do. And then again, he tries to do it and wins the pen. So, yeah, big up to him today. That's what I want to see him do more often. And I want to see Antony do it on the other side. And for fear of sounding like a stuck record, if you swap them over, it'll happen more often because they've got the left footer and the right footer.
I mean, Kev, what did you think of Rashford today? There was a lot of mixed reviews I saw online before I did the forum, but all in all, I was happy-ish with him.
Happy-ish, yeah, is something to say. I think he's taken a lot of stick, which comes with the fact that he scored so many goals last season. At a stage in the game, I'm wondering, I don't know, are Netflix going to make a documentary called The Invisible Man? Because I didn't think he was in the game at all, Rashford. But he does have these moments where he is explosive. We've seen that last season with the goals that he scored. And the same things happen today. You know, we have won a game, and Rashford, yeah, probably grew into the game a bit more. I've been more worried to the start of the season seeing a decline in Rashford's kind of demeanour, and I think people have read into it. I'm not a body language expert, but I get the impression sometimes he's not very happy. And maybe it's about the way Manchester United are playing, how things are going, but I just think players need to react to, you know, stuff differently. You see Bruno Fernandes today, the performance he put in was a captain's performance for me. You know, it was brilliant, whereas Rashford, yeah, listen, in them key areas, he has done the business today.
Yeah, I mean, another player that has come under a lot of criticism recently is Antony, Faz. And Antony today, I mean, I'll let you say before I come in, but do you think he answered a few of his critics today?
100%. Absolutely. All of these people that are on his case are just sheeps. Plain and simple, they're sheeps. He takes people on. He took his man on so many times today. He even, you know, nearly got a goal. He tracks back. At times you saw Bissaka higher up and him covering Bissaka.
What you've got to say, Faz, is for me, that is, he's listened to what he needs to do because he's not been doing that. And today, I thought, well done.
Yeah, but
you've thought about your performance and you've massively improved.
But he's done that last season. There's numerous times he's done that last season. People have patience with certain players for 3 seasons.
You could tell today he was looking for for the pass. He was getting to the byline a lot more.
The main issue.
Let me finish this. People want to back the manager. People want to back the manager, but don't want to back the #1 player that he's brought in. Make it make sense.
Loving the graphics.
Well,
I'm
sorry, it's going because the poll says 63%.
Yeah.
Oh no.
Don't.
Can I just say, right, decision making is one of the major problems with Manchester United, whoever plays in that front three at the moment. And that's what I missed off saying about Marcus Rashford before. There was a couple of instances in the second half where I look and I think, what is going through his head? Was there a stage where we could have wrapped it up to make it 4-2? He decides to shoot. I think it might have been McTominay, Fernandes. There was a total overload. If he pulls the ball back, the game is over, and he decides to shoot. It's not even a strong shot. Sometimes, and Antony's he's guilty of this as well. It's knowing in these split seconds, and this is where players become great players, because they know whether to shoot, whether to pass, making that right decision in the final third. And the best players do it so easily and make it look so effortless.
I just want to add
some
another
players
thing.
overthink it.
Absolutely spot on there.
How many times did he draw corners? He drew fouls.
He was really good today.
Right? Imagine now Rasmus Højlund comes in, someone who I'm hoping will bring more of an aerial threat from set pieces, and you've got a winger who's constantly getting fouled, players getting booked because of him. That is what we need in this team, because in the final third, you saw numerous times him, Bruno, Eriksen, they're making these intricate passes, and you almost seen like shapes of triangle of them moving around. That's fluid football. That's what you want to see. There's loads of times Antony giving the ball away, or like a sloppy pass or a poor pass. But just like you want to be patient with the squad and the manager, you have to be patient with certain players. It's plain and simple. You can't pick and choose. So I thought Antony was very good. I'm happy with him. I think there's loads more to go. He's only, 23 years old?
It's the price tag.
Yeah,
it's always going to be held against.
That's Murtaugh's fault. Yeah. Everybody knows that.
It's not his fault.
Just some bit of breaking news, guys. West Ham are beating Brighton right now.
Oh, no.
It's their place.
Wow, are we
1-0?
Yeah, 1-0 so far, so we'll keep you updated on that. I'll have a little look in a sec, but just to continue the conversation on Antony, I was a critic. I said he should have got dropped today. But, Ten Hag, kept faith in him, and I have to say, he's passing with Bruno, he's passing with Wan-Bissaka, massively improved. I think that helped because Bruno was actually, a lot simpler in the way he played, and it helped him to get into the game more. And like you said, a few instances that really stood out. When he's on the right hand side on his own, he's taking on defenders, he draws in that foul, it takes the pressure off. That cross that he actually did with his right foot, Martial was really unlucky not to get on the end of it. I said to Ricky, a proper number 9 puts that in the back of the net, like an out and out proper number 9. Maybe Højlund puts that in the back of the net. We've seen him kind of lunge into them before, if you watched him for Atalanta and for Denmark. So overall, I think a massive step up in Antony's performance today.
100%, and people just want to criticise him because I don't know why they have this price tag over him where it's not his fault. Yeah. It's like it's like I'm like a broken record trying to explain it. The price tag's not his fault. What do you want him to do? He's probably a 40-50 million pound player at best, but the club paid whatever they paid for him.
Goal.
One Prowse. That's why.
What a signing he is.
Knobheads like Gabby Ogbonlo. No, but they do. He doesn't watch Manchester United. You're not telling me he watches United like we do every week. Yeah. He can just flippantly throw in a comment that Antony's been a total waste of time, 90-odd million, and you go, you knobhead, have you even watched him? Because as supporters, we can see that he is getting, he's getting better.
Clip that up, everyone.
Where's he from, Kev? Newcastle?
Ireland. I thought it was all right.
It was decent.
It was all right.
It was decent. Alan Kenny says, Rashford looks disinterested playing as a striker. Left wing, he's better, but he doesn't have football IQ. Because of his pace, he's never had to learn it. Interesting take. Josh Euritia says, we need a DM to help Casemiro in the defence. I agree with that. I think Rashford does lack a bit of football IQ, but he showed it today in the fact of, instead of cutting in and shooting, actually going and trying getting across. I
just want to quickly on that super chat. Towards the end of the game, Jadon Sancho manages to receive the ball in our own half, turns a player, and he's bombing down the middle. And Rashford is running whilst looking at Sancho, whereas a proper number 9 is running without looking at the player. That's what Haaland, best player Lewandowski, you've seen Didier Drogba, all of these top number 9s, that's what they do. They run knowing that the player from behind is going to slip the ball in, and the ball will end up to you. Why is Rashford looking? And he's almost like tiptoeing and keeping a certain amount of distance between him and just go. Drag a player with you. Don't be offside, but try and drag a player with you and create that space for Sancho. And this is why Benny McCarthy has a lot of work to do with him, because we know, whether you like it or not, Marcus Rashford is going to play number 9 numerous times this season, because Rasmus Højlund probably isn't going to play every single. Sancho did a good job, but Anthony Martial staying fit isn't guaranteed. Rasmus can't play 2 games a week yet. Jadon Sancho false 9. I don't know if Ten Hag is adamant on that. So you will see Marcus Rashford play number 9 a lot more, and he needs to fix this this lethargic behaviour in the number 9.
We do have to look at it and go, we have started the season here, played 3 games. We've not played a proper number 9. But at the same time, we are pinning a lot of hopes on Højlund, hoping that he can be, you know, the man to lead this line. But it would be totally different if you got somebody like Faz says that can stretch a defence, unselfish, makes a run. Even if he knows he's not going to get the ball, you take a defender out of position and let, you know, other players come through, because we're not short of talent by any means.
Yeah, exactly. Jerome T. Green says Martinez, underrated game, mocked up a lot and was very good and calm on the ball. And then we have another super chat in from Give It to Mikey, who says, how much better would Antony be if he had a right foot, and do you think he ever will? His assist was off his right. I think he's working on it, and that's it'll never be as strong as what his left is. You've got to kind of be using it since you're a little kid. I think personally, if you get to this level, it's never going to be as good. But you know, Harry Kane worked on his massively. I heard a story about Harry Kane where he'd only trained with his left foot for quite a while. That's sometimes something that you've got to kind of put into place. So we'll see if it can work. Today was definitely a step up in using it a lot more. Right, another player I want to talk about today is Anthony Martial. We'll be quick on Martial, but Ricky, while people sat around us were giving him a bit of stick, I could hear it. I was thinking, thank you for holding yourself back. But you were happy to see Martial in the starting 11. Do you think this is just the start of him helping us in that front line, in a sense of the difference between playing him and Rashford there? And what did you make of his performance?
Well, only if he can stay fit, obviously. You know, his injury record's been horrendous, and I absolutely love him. But I've been getting frustrated with his injury record, and that's why it was clearly why they took him off. I mean, one or two people might go, "Oh, they've took him off. He won't play well." He occupies players. He holds the ball well. He passes it well. Didn't have an absolutely fantastic game, but as I always say we played better, and let's not deny it. We played the best we've played all season today. So whether he even had a kick at the ball, it still happened. You know what I mean? It still happened. So when they took him off, I saw him look over and start running over straight away. It was definitely, without any doubt, it was agreed before the game. I could tell. You know, you're playing an hour, that's it. You know, and then off he went. And getting back to the little point about, I mean, Faz might be right, but I'm hoping he's not right in that. I think it was Faz that said it, that Rashford's going to play quite a few games up there. Hopefully Martial can stay fit. Hopefully him and Højlund can alternate. And then Sancho, I thought Sancho was great as a false nine in the States on a tour, and I think he's come on today and played well there. I'm hoping our first choice or second choice is Martial or Højlund, and Sancho's third choice now, and Rashford can stay on the wing, and hopefully we hardly see anything of him playing at number 9 from now on.
He's not a great number 9, is he?
Tell you what, get that. Is he called Awani?
I struggle with this one.
I struggle with his name. I know him very, very well, because obviously he's been great for Forest. But God, he was a handful. I was buzzing when he came off. I was like, thank you very much. He was.
Credit to him.
Honestly, no word of a lie, we could do with someone like that, 100%.
Gibbs White,
Can I just say
Johnson.
something? Let's just say something about that. There's horses for courses in different styles of playing different teams. Now, obviously, apart from the first 5 minutes and the last 15 minutes, we dominated the play, and we've got them pegged back, and it's a really crowded. Their half of the field is a really crowded half of the field. So Martial is having to come away from defenders, find little pockets of space, get balls into feet, lay it off. Like I say, didn't have his greatest game, but we certainly played better. Now then, they're playing, knocking balls over the top and stretching, and he's a real big horse. I mean, look at his goal, how he knocked Rashford out of the way. Rashford couldn't get near him, could he? It's a different style of goal, it's a different style of play. If I'm not saying Martial could have done what he did, because he's not the same type of player, but if he was playing for us, maybe we wouldn't have played quite so well. It's a different game what he's playing.
Yeah, it's an interesting one. I don't think I think Martial will warm up. It's his first full game back. He wasn't great for me, but he was better than what Rashford is in that number 9, and that's not really, you don't have to do much more, to be honest.
Well, we scored 2 goals while Martial was on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly.
I'm still a firm believer in that Martial's the best number 9 at the club at the minute, only because I've not seen Højlund.
We don't know much about Højlund yet, do we? We don't know much about
No,
Højlund.
Martial is definitely a massive, massive bonus to have him back, and I'm glad he came off, and obviously he came off just because he wanted to protect him. He wasn't injured or anything like that, so hopefully he can stay fit, but we'll have to wait and see.
What about Varan? Do we know anything about?
Well, I've not got any updates in yet, but I'll get them as they come, I'll tell you. Keithran R. Rayo says, time added rule is bad. They waste time when leading and then get more time added when trailing. Ten Hag said this in his post-game interview. Your thoughts? It is what it is.
I just get more football for my money, so I'm.
It is what it is.
It is a strange one because
11
Forest,
minutes was
from
ridiculous.
4 minutes in the 5th minute, the 6th minute, Forest started wasting time.
Yeah.
And then the same Premier League footballers, even our own Rafael Varan, you know, oh, we can't play 100 minutes a week. And then at the same time, I'm thinking, well, you've got the memo. As long as you don't waste time, you know, these games won't go into the 100 minutes plus or whatever. So for a team like Forest, it was weird the way it swung, because then they weren't complaining when they seen 11 minutes go up. They're thinking, we can get back into this. Where United were kind of thinking, we want this game to end.
He massively wanted it to end in the end. Hey Johan says, Casemiro movement reminds me of Maguire. Some say he needs DM cover, but the whole point of Casemiro is to play the role alone and free up another player. Like Ricky said, no one can physically play that role on their own. Eriksen definitely helped out. Bruno dropped back a little bit more, and today I thought the cover was fine. But anyway, everyone's obviously entitled to their opinion, but thank you for getting your chat in. Moving on, I want to talk about, for me, someone who actually has been a shining light so far this season. By the way, everyone, I want to just add a little bit of a positive in here. This time last season, we had 3 points from our first 3 games. This time this season, we have 6 points. So it is an improvement, and we ended up going on to do pretty well last year. Could have done better, but we ended up doing pretty well. So we're in a better position. Obviously, our next run of fixtures are a lot more difficult than what we had last time. But anyway, we've got to get into it. But the shining light, as I was talking about, went off on a bit of a tangent there. Wan-Bissaka. Today, God, the weather's...
You just said Aaron, and we heard thunder. I mean,
yeah, thunder.
The timing on that.
Is he going to appear in the studio?
That's God up there. You moved the trainer.
No.
Telling you bad things are going to start happening.
You say about thunder, he was lightning today. I thought he was very, very good.
Great
Good
show.
thunder.
Other than lightning, I like it.
You like my little joke? I do try. But Faz, Wan-Bissaka, linking up well, defending really well. I mean, doing some skills, getting past players in the midfield, getting forward at the right times, driving through the midfield, making the right passes. Had put a good cross in again that could have easily led to something. Are you happy with him?
Yeah, very happy with him. Just consistently keep building on these sorts of performances, and the huge conversation. Is the roof leaking?
I'm scared the studio's going to cave in.
Wow.
Sorry, I'm a bit scared to
Welcome
speak.
to Manchester.
Anyways, I think there's a big conversation between Bissaka and Dalot, isn't it? And it just seems like Bissaka's kind of pulling away with all of this performances that he's doing. One of the things that I was kind of surprised by is how free he was to go forward, and Antony at times sitting back. I don't know if you guys noticed this. At one point,
nice partnership.
At one point I saw Antony playing the fullback kind of role, and I was thinking, what's going on here? But it's clear that they've trusted Bissaka to be able to do that. Don't forget, last season against City at Old Trafford, he was dropping shoulders on players. He was, holding the ball comfortably, passing it forward, carrying the ball. What I've always said this, and I'll still continue to say this, is his crossing ability from deep needs to improve, because that's what you get from Luke Shaw, from the other side. Being able to whip that ball in from deep, from the half space, is what we need. Everything else is fine. And also from a defensive perspective, the far post, being able to defend, area ball. Yeah, but it's still, he can be much better. But he needs to improve this same partnership with Pelestri. He needs to do the same partnership with Sancho, because he won't be playing with Antony every single game. There will be times when he'll be playing with other players, and you want to be able to see him consistently keep that level of performance. But, look, for a position that the manager was adamant that he needed a player, Timber, all of these other players that he kept scouting, the fact that he's gone leaps and bounds is amazing.
Testament to himself, innit? Because he continues to improve, and that's the great thing. And I don't mean it as a discredit to Ole Gunnar Solskjaer, but I always said that no players improved under his tenure, whereas Wan-Bissaka now, I think he's showing that with proper coaches in place, a manager that, is instructing him, telling him what to do, he's taking on that information, and he's gradually getting better, which is great. There's so many other players that are taking this information on board. There must be so much to learn. Maybe that's why the start to the season has been so kind of mixed, where we're looking and thinking, what are we going to get this week? Yeah. Like a box of chocolates, innit, man? You don't know what you're going to get.
In the first half today, the ball came to him on the edge of there, but not the front edge of the box, the side edge of the box. And he just paused a second and just knocked it past the man, and he was free into the box. And I thought, wow, what a classy
Creating a bit of
piece,
space
what a classy piece of play it was. I was gobsmacked, to be honest. It really was nice.
You've massively, obviously you weren't a huge fan of Wan-Bissaka, but you've changed your mind a little bit, haven't you?
Yeah, he has improved dramatically since the early days.
And you've got to think as well that one, testament to Ten Hag, but testament to Wan-Bissaka, because Malacia was playing over him right back at one point. So we never heard a peep out of him. He came back, he improved, he worked with Ten Hag, and he's really starting to lock down that right back spot. We'll speak about the other fullback in a second, Dalot, because I actually think his performance is going under the radar, playing as that inverted fullback. But I do have an update on Rafael Varan, and Ten Hag said on Rafael Varan, he had complaints and we didn't want to risk him. I don't know if it's bad, we'll have to wait and see. Not the best news that you want to hear, but we all know that Rafael Varan is injury prone, and that's why Ten Hag wanted a centre-back. But Ricky will tell you, Lindelof's the best centre-back anyway, and you know what? He's not far wrong. Lindelof has been very good. But Football Maniac TV, member for 11 months. Let's be real though, another poor performance all round, and Arsenal game won't be fun. Got to wait and see what the Arsenal game is next time. I mean, that super chat that have just come up is quite disturbing, to be honest. I'm not going to read it out, but that's a bit concerning. Anyway, if anyone in the chat can see it's a little bit weird.
Can I just comment on that thingy that's just come out? There's a clip, I think maybe maybe we posted it, I don't know. But anyways, I said Varan can't be our starting centre-back this season. And people absolutely lost the plot. But I want what's best for the football team. And this is, this is exactly what I was telling you. And I hate to do this, that I told you, I predicted this, but there you go. This is it. A lovely footballer, amazing man, great on the ball, really calm, so good, all of that's fine. And I'll fight to the death with all of this. And same with Martial, but a player that's not ready and fit. And, the key word, by the way, and I am going to reference a report that came out last season, complaining. What was it? Is that not complaining? Last season, there was one particular report that came out that Varan was complaining about the amount of games that he was playing, and he couldn't sustain it. And just look at that, what's come out now.
Ten Hag said he had complaints.
Listen, I have goldfish memory, but sometimes I keep screenshots in my head of certain things. And I told you that he can't be the starting centre-back. And Lindelof, Iceman, thank you so very much for staying. And I'm sorry, but you're not going anywhere. You are staying against, whatever it is, because he's come, and instantly when he came on, he had to make a darting run to try and stop the attacker from scoring, and they were through on goal.
People say he doesn't have pace.
Fantastic. Yeah, he made a fantastic run to try and protect the ball.
He's the quickest of our three centre-backs.
We need
he had
to
a great end to the season, Lindelof, didn't he?
He was very quick in that moment.
He was one of our form players towards the end of last season.
We're so quick to critique players, but we're so slow to give them praise when they try and prove themselves, like Bissaka, like Lindelof, and that's what it's about. So I'm behind Lindelof 100% to play next to Martinez.
Well, you can see, Kev, can't you, that Ten Hag massively trusts Lindelof. He's kind of he can play right-sided centre-back, he can play left-sided centre-back, and, when offers came in last year for him, he said, absolutely not, I'm keeping him. Ten Hag clearly likes him a lot and values him as part of his squad. Yeah. I mean, are you more than comfortable to play Lindelof? Because I'm looking, Lindelof coming at half-time, I'm thinking, great.
It doesn't worry me.
Whereas if it's Maguire, you're thinking, oh.
Well, I was just going to use that as when you look at somebody that wanted to stay at United, had offers in for him, Lindelof towards the end of the season, it obviously shows that the manager has great faith, trust in him, wanted him to stay, the were bids that come in. And then on the flip side of it, you've got a player there that has been stripped to the captaincy at Manchester United, clearly is not going to get much game time if he sticks around. It's been well reported that if we can get a fee for him in the region of 30 million, that will help with deals like you just mentioned for Amrabat, and the way that kind of transfer circus kind of works. Tell me who's the better person. And you now got a person that is staying at the club because he wants some kind of loyalty bonus or something to be paid off to go from Manchester United, but will quite happily sit on the bench. Doing what? Just training every week and not playing. Whereas Lindelof actually wants to fight for his place in this team, and he will be given time at Manchester United, especially if Varan's injury concerns like that. If this continues and we're only, the third game in the season, Lindelof will get chances. Maybe he knew that at the end of last season and thought, the way that Varan finished, I'm going to get game time here.
Well, we'll speak about Lindelof a little bit with Ricky as well, because I know you really like him. Ayush says, love you all. Thank you very much for your super chat. Really appreciate it. But Victor Lindelof, such a valuable member of the squad, to have players like that can fill in and the standard doesn't drop, and for you probably maybe even goes a little bit higher. Such valuable members of the squad. If you had players like that in all positions, we'd be absolutely fine, wouldn't we? That's the kind of level we need to be at in all fronts, really. But are you happy with Lindelof moving forward? I know you like him.
Yeah, I like him big time. I've got no qualms whatsoever whether he plays in. I mean, towards the end of last season, Martinez missed 10 or 12 games towards the end, didn't he, with injury? Lindelof played in a cup final, played in about 10 games before that. He covers for the right-hand side when Varan plays, he covers for the left-hand side when Martinez plays.
Versatile, yeah.
And there's no visible drop-off whatsoever. None whatsoever, so I'm over the moon with Lindelof.
And it's a lot to be asked to come into that position and just say, bang, you know, are you ready now in the 60th minute, whatever it is, to come into a team like that and perform like that. But again, it's testament to him.
He came very close to getting on the score sheet today, didn't he?
Yeah, he did.
Burst into the box and tried to get on the end of a cross.
Yeah.
Don't know what he was doing up there, but he nearly did.
I think we just had a set piece and the play was stuck.
Can I just say something totally off finger? This picture of Ricky is really getting me, man. I'm struggling.
Oh.
I'm not laughing at you, Ricky. I've just never seen somebody so happy with a big thumb. It's in my eye every time I look this way, and it's just like Ricky's in my face like that.
When it got put out
Thumbs
earlier,
up from The Godfather. Love it.
My brother sent it to me and he was like, that is the most class picture I've seen. It's great. I love that. I love our graphics.
That's like McTominay starts today and Ricky's just there like...
that was Ricky when Martial was getting subbed off. He was like, brilliant, Antony.
Oh God,
Class,
love it.
Class. Big up to the graphics guys as well. Really, really good to have these features to be used. But yeah, funny stuff. Also, massive shout out to everyone who's done the sit-in today. The Glazers out, obviously the sit-in at Old Trafford. I know Adam's there, and brilliant. Well done to everyone who does that. Obviously, need to get your voices heard. So thank you to everyone who's done that. But another player, I've got to bring him up. Bruno Fernandes, Captain Bruno. For me, just a really, really solid captain's performance, excellent performance. Don't really think he put a foot wrong. Arguably should have scored the goal that actually he should have scored that cross that came into him and it just went wide. But first goal led to him from taking the keeper on with a really good shot. Steps up for the penalty, pressure cooker situation, bags it, gets around the pitch brilliantly, tackles in, keeps the hold of the ball well, really pulls the strings from the midfield, getting everywhere, being parts in all passages of play. I mean, Faz, captain's performance for you?
Yeah, really good performance. You know, just there was a level of consistency from minute 1 to 111th minute or whatever we played. Most important thing is, as we've conceded the second goal, he doesn't seem like he's lost his head. He doesn't seem like shouting at anyone. Or he's not trying instantly to try and hoof the ball anywhere. And a lot of the passes, they were somewhat risky, but kudos to him, he went through. Many times he's passing it to Antony, trying to pass it to Rashford. Sometimes he's kind of easing off from the passing and keeping it between him and Eriksen. But I actually think the reason why isn't because Bruno played so well. I give him his props, but it's because the faith he has in Eriksen and Casemiro being there. When it's Mount and the partnership is not built, it takes time in the training ground to learn your players.
I actually think him himself dropped a little bit deeper.
At times as well, at times. I think it's that midfield trio that gives him that little calmness that helps him stay in the game and keep his mind in the game. And the penalty, crunch time, I was hoping someone else was going to take it because he's had a few shots in the game today where they all went wide. So I was like, is he going to be able to? But, really, really good. And I actually give him my player of the match anyway. So, yeah.
Well, we just had a quote in from Ten Hag on the protest. He said, what it's about is they are entitled to have their opinion. But you see, between the fans and the team, there is a very strong bond. Throughout my time here, it's got stronger and stronger. Backing from Erik Ten Hag there, I see. He's saying the fans deserve their opinion and the bond with the team. The team, very significant there, not the owners. The team is very, very strong. And I agree with him on that. And I'm glad he came out and said that. He didn't back the Glazers in any way, shape or form. He actually kind of backed the fans in that. So respect to Erik Ten Hag for that. And Kev, Bruno, happy?
I would go as far as to say that I think that performance today, as a captain's performance, is probably one of the best I've seen post Sir Alex Ferguson. I'm trying to think of better individual performances as a captain. I mean Casemiro's performance last season in the Carabao Cup final, I thought was like a one-man show. He wasn't captain for that match, so was he? I'm just thinking, as a captain, somebody that was that good. There was an instance today when United were like really going for it. The crowd were, it was a bit, you know, the crowd were trying to get up, and Bruno Fernandes flew into 2 like 50-50 challenges. He flew into one of them, won the ball, which the ball then rolled on. I can't remember who it was on. Went in again and poked the ball through to Rashford. Now, Rashford, going back to what I said earlier, carries the ball forward, wrong decision making, move breaks down. You know, maybe somebody else who makes decisions a bit better, something might happen. But it's little things like that that spark it. And the fact that Bruno's took so much criticism from Manchester United fans, you know, people on social media or whatever saying he's not captain material, it should have gone elsewhere.
Don't listen to him.
Yeah, because you hear all the whisperings, and you know that a lot of these players look up to him, they've got the respect, they respect Bruno, and I understand at the same time, sometimes he has off games, who doesn't? Maybe he'll knock a Hollywood pass, but he keeps going, you know, he keeps on going. We get the penalty from Bruno making that run, and today I thought he was absolutely, I'll say sensational. I know this man might not agree with me. I thought he was brilliant, I really do.
What was interesting though is his Instagram story.
Oh, the other day?
Yeah.
I liked it.
Because I did too. He put a post up of someone saying, your opinions don't matter to me because the most important opinion is of me, of my own. So what I think of myself. And he wouldn't post that if he was playing good. You wouldn't post that if you're playing good. The fact that people are criticising you, and that's why you think their opinion doesn't matter, so you've posted it.
People criticising him as captain, which I'm
sure, whatever it is, people criticising him because there's a reason why. There's a reason why we've had poor games, you know, first 2 games, so that's why. But the fact that he's taken that on board, and clearly he's understood.
Do you know what makes me laugh though?
Go on.
What makes me laugh is, think about the English media. Maguire's been captain for years now, right? And he's been terrible. You barely hear a peep.
No, nothing.
Bruno's captain for a few games, who's been our best player post-Fergie. Arguably, I would say he has been our best player since Fergie, and has been an absolute gem since signing. A few games in, and people just come down to the fact he argues with the ref, Bruno shouldn't be captain, all this. It's ridiculous, in my opinion. But fast carry on.
Yeah, no, he clearly listened to, you know, clearly kind of had some self-catharsis moment where he's now said, I really need to have a really good game and shut everyone up. And that's what it's about. It is about players getting criticised when they don't perform well and them shutting everyone up. And that's what he did today. So praise and...
he led the team. That really, was a captain's performance
really good
from Bruno Fernandes today. That's why I said I thought it was amazing. I think of some great captain performances. The likes of, say, Roy Keane and Turin, you know, 99 against Juventus, where he single-handedly, you know, brought that team and got them into the final, knowing he was going to miss it suspended. I'm not saying it's as far-fetched, you know, and as glorious as that was, but that's because it's in terms of who we were playing today. It's Nottingham Forest, it's the Premier League. A lot of people would have looked at it going, United 30 games unbeaten at home, Forest not that great on the road. It looked like there was only going to be one winner, and it was, but it didn't pan out that way. But Fernandes took the game by the scruff of his neck.
Well, what you've got to realise as well is, you know, there's a lot of pressure on this game. I know it's Forest at home, I know that, but Forest, like I said, anyone in the Premier League is a tough game. You can't write them off. They've had a good start to the season. You go 2-0 down within 4 minutes, and it's a must-win game. We've got Arsenal away, then we've got Brighton at home. We've had a bad start to the season. The media's already on everyone's backs. Bruno easily could have had one of them performances, you know, where every pass is kind of to no one and you're looking down. He stepped up and he was telling everyone to calm down. He dropped deep a little bit. His passes were simple, they were quick. He really did step up to the plate.
Imagine what Ten Hag must have been thinking. 4th minute, 2-0 down. You know, there's chance of you getting sacked in the morning. I bet even all the people in the media box were already typing up, you know, the Hawks or the thingies are flying over Old Trafford, the vultures, sorry, you know, and you know, planning this Ten Hag, not the right man for Manchester United and that. And then it changes round, doesn't it? Again, it does show great character to get back into a game and to win it that way, but the press would have loved that today.
Certain media outlets are absolutely gutted. They don't have it to go off.
Delete.
But yeah, I mean, yeah, that's what you can say on Bruno. Great. And Ricky even thought his performance was decent, didn't you?
Yeah, played very well today. Much better than I normally expect from him. And still 2 or 3 shots from distance I would rather he didn't take on.
One of them led to a goal.
And one of them did lead to a goal in the end, yeah. Obviously, the keeper said, I thought the keeper was, but I'm not just saying this, I thought their keeper was a bit dodgy at times. One error that he made, it's funny football, it's a funny old game. One error by their goalkeeper led to a goal for them. Because he didn't catch a ball that he should have caught. It went out for a corner, and from that corner, they broke away and scored.
Oh, yeah.
Had he done his job better, they wouldn't have scored that goal. And that was the first goal, by the way. It's a funny old game, football. If he'd have caught that ball, it probably still would have been 0-0 after 5 minutes instead of 2-0 down.
Yeah.
I'm just thinking of Bruno Fernandes. If he watches the United stand, he must be sat here now going, that is the biggest compliment I've ever been paid by Ricky. He's like, I was man of the match.
He doesn't care what anyone thinks. So.
Also, though, towards the end of the game, there was a moment where where Rashford passed the ball to Sancho to Eriksen, Eriksen to Bruno, and you see players just bombing it down, and I think it was almost like 3v1, 3v2, and Bruno should have just pinged the ball straight to Rashford because he can, but he didn't. And I think we would have ended up winning the game 4-2. I think that's the only kind of thing I was expecting of him, because it's just wide open. There's nobody defending. It's, Manchester United player galore running up the pitch. He should have just flinged the ball over the top. But anyways, we won the game.
Yes, we've got a super chat in from LJ. I get criticism to Ten Hag, but we don't talk enough about the fact that we have 28 wins in a 33-game win streak at Old Trafford. Excluding pre-season, we grind out results, but the form can grow. Yeah, it's a big testament. I think it's the longest unbeaten run at Old Trafford that there's been I saw a stat about it for a very long time. We've done very well. Antony Tracy says, attack, attack, attack. We're seeing Ten Hag born out, needs fullbacks to play like Dalot, tuck into the midfield and be good in possession. Eric Ten Hag doing a pep with Dalot. I mean, this is the last player I want to speak about before we talk about the Emirates next week. We've not got much time, so I'll rush it a little bit. But Dalot, performance going under the radar. Left back, he's not his usual position. He slots in, has a great game, comes into midfield, technically very good, physical, winning headers. I mean, Ricky, happy with it?
Yeah, I mentioned to you during the game about his position on the field. He took right in front of the centre-backs. And then obviously the left winger, Rashford, he's coming back to receive the ball down the wing instead of Dalot receiving the ball on the flank. I'll be dead honest with you, and I think I said this to you, I'm not dead happy with it. I'm dead old-fashioned, and I like my full-backs to be on the touchline for the centre-backs, and it's this new-fangled thing that they're trying. And, Dalot is certainly comfortable on the ball. If there is a player who's comfortable enough to be able to do that, it is Diogo Dalot. He's had a cracking game.
Yep, and Faz, you back that up as well?
Yeah, 100%. At one point, I remember when I saw Martinez so high up on the pitch with Varan, and I was like, where's Dalot? And I see him nearly in the box. And I was like, what kind of revolutionary football is this? But this is what it is. He's using, he's starting the game off with 3 in the back, with probably Bissaka being the third player in the defensive back line, and he's using Dalot for his attacking attributes to play that half space in front of the defensive back, in front of the defensive line, to be just a player to kind of keep that ball taking on and moving. And in case, the most important thing what people aren't realizing is if we lose that ball, a player like Dalot, who is defensive player, is able to win you that ball back and then pass the ball to the other players to create another attack. So that's the most important thing. And I think people this conversation about him and Bissaka, they end up disrespecting one player to uplift another, and that's not a good thing. The fact that us Manchester United fans have 2 players to debate about is a fantastic thing in its own, because you can't tell me Scott McTominay can take Casemiro's position now. We don't sit here and argue about Scott McTominay and Casemiro.
Ricky will.
Well, some people might, but majority of people don't. The fact that we argue and debate about Dalot and Bissaka, I'm just so happy to be in this position, to have 2 fullbacks that we can really, really enjoy, and especially one who can play both sides.
Well, I've got to be honest as well. Like, to have Dalot who can play both sides, again, super valuable squad member, really valuable, good on the ball, is great at penalties as well, which we saw in the cup final. It's great to have. I actually have the shirt on, which is someone I thought we could have done with. Evra.
What a player.
Someone we could have done with now Luke Shaw's injured, but Dalot stepped into the role and he had a very good game. And to be honest with you, Emirates is going to be a huge test against Saka, like we all know that. But I was very assured with his performance. But yeah, that's the kind of the last key player I did want to discuss. Now we're going to do man of the match, and then we're going to talk a tiny little bit about the Emirates before we wrap up the show. But we'll start with Ricky first, man of the match, Ricky.
I did think Bruno had a great game, but coming in and filling in at left back, Luke Shaw, the best, for me, the best left back in the league. and not been quite himself the first 2 games. But certainly at Spurs he wasn't quite himself. But Dalot's come in, and we haven't missed Luke Shaw, not one little bit. And he's, like I say, he's right-footed as well. So my man of the match is Diogo Dalot.
Yeah, I think even getting forward, he provides more than what Malacia even does at left back, and I like Malacia a lot, but getting forward, definitely.
He put one ball in, I mentioned it to you, he put a ball in with his left foot from the left wing that not many other players could do, right out on the touchline. There's a little bit too much height in it, but most players wouldn't even be able to get it that high. Do you know what I mean? It coming too low. You know, he got it too high, which obviously that's not great, but from the left touchline for a right-footed player, there was some ball in that.
Yeah, I mean, Kev, your man of the match?
It's an interesting take that. I think Dalot did play well. Thought he was really, really good, but I've probably ruined it earlier. The surprise of Bruno Fernandes has to be like 100%. I know it's a matter of opinions and that. I'm sure. I don't know what the poll was, maybe on Mark's stream. That come out of who was man of the match.
That, by the way? Can we get to know who was man of the match?
Just have a look. I would say it's going to be a very, very high percentage.
It's
going to be up in the 80s, something like that. Oh, sorry, I thought he was shouting then what it was. But no, I think a majority of fans will go with Bruno. I'm happy to do that because I thought it was brilliant.
Yep, I agree with that, Kev.
One of the points to mention is, I think, please correct me if I'm wrong, I think it was 2-2, and Dalot makes this fantastic block in the box when one of the Forest players cuts it in, and they had a player just empty, basically 1v1 with the keeper at that point, and he just stretches like rubber band and just gets something on the ball, and we end up staying in the game. So I was nearly in tears looking at that, because that's what Bissaka does, you know. And to see Dalot do that, you know how much I like Diogo Dalot as well. But criticism we give to the players when they play bad, and praise is where it's due. It's Bruno Fernandes today. Consistent for 100+ minutes. Really enjoyed a proper captain player. And to take the penalty, you know me, I like players who can put the ball in the back of the net in a penalty situation. He has to be.
That's the way he just smashed it in the corner, because you were thinking, is it the hop, skip, jump? You know, and you're thinking at this point, just put the ball in the back of the net. You know, it's a big goal if we score it.
I was nervous when he stepped up, but I shouldn't be. He's a great penalty taker, and it was a great penalty. And my man of the match is also going to be Bruno Fernandes.
I thought you were going to give it to Onana.
No, not today. Really, I'm not that biased towards my the players I like, unlike some of us. I'm joking. But no,
De Gea would have saved that. I told you to prepare yourself this season for De Gea would have saved that.
Why did he jump? But why did he jump?
It wasn't that bad.
But why did he jump?
No, he should have done better for sure. But my man of the match is Bruno Fernandes, but I do want to give a shout out to Wan-Bissaka. He was great too. Really good. But 76% was Bruno in the chat. But
that was close.
Got 4 minutes left, so quickly, any changes you would make for the Arsenal game? How you're feeling going into it? I mean, Kev, if I offered you a draw now, would you take it?
Oh, 100%. Yeah, take that every day of the week. I think that is not me lowering my...
I would.
I'm not lowering my standards one bit.
I
know where you go.
In the changing room. I do not want you in the changing room. No chance. Draw.
Anybody with a brain would.
No, I don't have a brain. I have heart. That's what I have. I have heart. And we're going to go there.
Here we go with a big
we're
speech.
Gonna
Come on.
Fight. That's what we're going to do.
Sell it to me, Faz.
Listen.
Sell it.
What was the score today? Where is Zayn Miasi? Zayn, stop hiding. Come outside, Zayn. We are going to go to the Emirates, and we are going to...
You did this last season before Liverpool. You did it before the cup final.
We are going to play good football. We are going to do it. Please. No, I'm not listening to this.
I can't take it.
Listen, we just... Honestly. On the same day, Arsenal lost. We just came back from 2-0. You guys were absolutely crying, and some of you turning your... Rio Ferdinand went back to bed. Admin had to wake him up. Please stop this. We will go and we will fight for 3 points. We ain't fighting for 1 point.
No,
we want the full 3
points. Of
points.
course you want to go there and win, but if someone
so say it then.
Sign on the paper now for a draw.
No, I'm not signing shit. I'm not signing. I'm ripping that paper.
Odds. It's like saying you can take a draw now, or there's a chance you might win or lose.
I make my own odds. They never believed in us, but Ten Hag did, and that's the end of that. We will go there and fight. Lindelof will start. That's the only change.
Last week, Fassi sat here. Ten Hag questions need to be asked.
Yeah, this man needs to be accountable.
And Antony just told me you're
with him.
getting clipped up for saying, I don't have a brain.
Oh, I don't consent. I don't consent.
But, I mean, you know what? I like that attitude. I really do. Because obviously you want to go and fight for the 3 points. Ricky, I feel like your take on this would be a slightly different to Faz's.
Look, I love to have the confidence and the you know, that Faz has got, but you know, we've got a chance to win. Of course, we've got a chance. If Martial plays, which I'm sure he will, I think the team will be the same, apart from probably Lindelof will play. I do feel as though we need a little bit more steel in midfield, but you can only, as I always say, you can only play 11, can't you? Do you know what I mean? I would like to play McTominay in that game, but I can't think of in place of who. You know, we need a bit more steel, a bit more legs around the park. But you can only play 11, so he'll probably...
The last time he was at the Emirates, did McTominay play that one, did he?
Yeah, we
was that the one that's sticking in my...
Yeah.
It wasn't...
Yeah, if I'm talking as
wasn't
well
great,
as,
was
I'm
it?
not talking about instead of, I just think we need a bit more.
But you don't want to drop Eriksen, do you?
Can't drop Eriksen, no.
And you can't drop Bruno off the back of that performance.
No, you can't.
No.
So, you know, I'd stick with it. Lindelof in for Varan if he's injured, or even if he isn't, I'd keep Lindelof in. We've had 3 league games now, and twice he's come on at half-time, Lindelof. Once for each centre-back. I think he'll start next week.
Yeah, I mean, Shahin Kouini says, Faz, you said the same thing before 7-0 to Liverpool. I don't take
That's
the draw,
what I just
by
said
the way.
before. That's why I was trying to stop you, man.
Anthony Tracy
Don't do
says,
it to yourself.
trust Ten Hag ball, let's go for it at the Emirates. We never learn to get too carried away, do we? But I like it. I want it. Do you know what? Like you said to me, Ricky, when we were watching the game, I'm sorry, but Fulham are a good team, but if Fulham can go to the Emirates and get a draw, we should be able to go there and take it to them and try and get a win. Last season, we were super unlucky to lose that game in the final minutes. We didn't have Casemiro, now we do. Oh God, when Casemiro went down injured in the last few minutes, I was like, not again, not before the Emirates.
But you don't know with Manchester United. Come Tuesday, Wednesday, something might come out.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'll be hiding.
Well, do you know what? Let's do some score predictions to round off the show for the Arsenal game. Faz?
Antony, Marcus Rashford, Casemiro, Kai Havertz. Ugh. Yeah, 2-1 Manchester United, easy.
Love it.
Absolutely easy.
God, what a position to be put in. I'm going to say 2-2. That was the score last season. Oh no, we got
3-2.
beat
3-2.
Jeez, I forgot
Last
about that.
minute of the game.
I must have gone to the bar at that point. Missed that goal. It was 2-2 in my head, but no, 2-2. I can't see us not conceding. I think we will score. Action-packed game, end to end, and yeah, 2-2. I'll go for.
Ricky?
I go 1-1.
1-1. Oh, you've gone for a draw. Nice one. I never ever predict anything but a win.
Right.
So I'm predicting 2-1 as well.
See, this is where in the week now I'll get giddy, and then when we get asked for our predictions, I'll be in there going United 3-1. But yeah, I'll say 2-2 on here,
It's
and then
bank holiday weekend.
I know.
Manchester United have just come back from a 2-0 deficit after 4 minutes and won the game 3-2. You have to believe. Go and have your wine, relax.
I will. Don't you worry. I'm gonna need
Got a
it.
ball of red waiting for me.
Oh God, yeah.
Last super chat of the day, Darren Mulaney. We need to loan in Amrabat and Felix. We need to sign Amrabat. I tell you what, I hope for the Arsenal game we have Amrabat holding up a United shirt. Doubt it's going to happen, but I really, really hope we do. But look, everyone, I know it wasn't the prettiest way to do it, but it was entertaining. We managed to get the 3 points. Adam said he wanted to see the character of this United side. If you were watching the build-up, he said I want us to go down and come back and win the game. That's exactly what he got. Make sure you stay tuned for Adam's vlog that is coming up. I don't think it's up now, but it will be coming up very, very shortly. I'll be interested to see what he has to say. It's actually just been posted, so you can head over there, watch Adam's vlog. I think he did it in the stadium as well with the sit-in, so that'd be an interesting one for you to go and watch. And as always, with our retro shirts on here, lovely. I've got an Evro one. You look at all the shirts. They're brilliant. You can go and get yours. Genuine, authentic retro kits. And it's at retrofootballkits.co.uk. 15% off site-wide and an extra 10% off with the code TUS10. Make sure you go and get yours. You can watch the forum in yours. We can be matching. Love it, don't we? But
I see how you matched the red with your nails as well.
I mean, I got these at the start of the season for a bit of good luck. Didn't really come in, but here we are. But anyway, guys, thank you for watching the fan forum. Great to have Kev back off his holidays.
Thanks very much. Loved it, man.
Yeah,
Loved it.
and
Well done, Kev.
Thank you.
Arsenal's watching. Ricky's going to the Arsenal game. Hopefully, give us some good luck and the shoes off the table. But that's all from us. Make sure you like the video, subscribe if you haven't already, and go and watch Adam's match vlog now. See you on the next one, everyone. Enjoy your weekend.